Hey friends, it is Monday, October 9th. Bad news is you're not in class. The good news is you know where to go to get your help. So what are we doing today? We're going to do look at this blue box right down there. It's called kind of back and forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our assessment, go to some homework, go back to our assessment, go to homework, back to our assessment, back to the lesson, go back to our assessment, and then we're going to jump to an extension. So it's just going to be boom, 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 back and forth today. And what I want to hit home with you today is anytime that you have to listen, listen. Anytime you have to work, work. Right? So we want to get in that model of being super efficient and on task and maximizing the amount of minutes that we have to work on math when we are in math. Remember what I told you at the beginning of the year? If you really lock down and do what you're supposed to do, 56 minutes of math is enough for one day. So let's do that. Okay, so today we're looking at chapter 2, more specifically 2.1.2, and it's how can I rewrite a decimal. So we want to look at the strategies for rewriting, terminating, and repeating decimals as fractions. Our learning target is we will develop strategies for rewriting, terminating, and repeating decimals as fractions. And our success criteria is, can you find patterns in terminating and repeating decimals? Okay, so when we come in, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at our summative assessment, and I'm going to put number 1 up. And then I'm just going to go through this one, and I'm going to go through the problem. Now, if you look at the addendums or the add-ons to the Google Stream, I have problems 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 all worked out, so you can take a look at those. Okay, so we're going to do number 1, and I'm going to work this one out, and then we're going to stop. And then I said, okay, now it's time to get your homework out. What we want you to do is we want you to open your ebook so you can see the problems. Because sometimes on the board might be too far away, or the board isn't bright enough, but you do have your ebooks. So we want you to look at problems 2.9, 2.10, and 2.11. And you don't have to write these on paper. We don't even have to get our packets out today. I just want you to write on the dry erase boards. And anytime that you get something that you want to check off with me, as your group is finishing up, just come and check off with me and I'll come walking by. Here are the problems we're working on. It says convert the following fractions to decimals, show your work. Write 2/5 as a decimal. How are you going to do that? 3/8 as a decimal. How are you going to do that? 30/20 as a decimal. How are you going to do that? 2.10. Mario ordered a pizza for dinner. When it arrived, Mario quickly ate 1/8 of the pizza. While Mario was getting napkins, his pet poodle ate 1/3 of the pizza. Draw a model of the pizza that shows the portions that have been eaten. Write a numerical expression to show the fraction of the pizza that is left. About what percent of the pizza is left? 2.15. Thomas has a bag with 7 green marbles, 5 blue marbles, 4 red marbles. For each part below, if the marble selected is replaced before the next marble is drawn, find the probability for the given draw. Write your answer as a fraction, as a decimal, and as a percent. What is the fraction decimal percent for getting a red marble? What is the fraction decimal percent for getting a red or a green marble? What is the fraction decimal percent for getting an orange marble? Now I'm going to let you work for about 5, 6, 7 minutes, and then I'm just going to say stop, and then we're going to go look at assessment question 2. So I'll get this one up. We'll walk through this problem. Then I'll say, all right, go back to your homework. So everybody jumps back into homework. We're in block 4 right now. I'll let you work a few more minutes, and then I'll say stop. So when you stop, then we'll go to summative assessment question number 3, having to do with perimeter and area of various shapes. And then when we go through that, I'm going to say put all your homework away. Now we're going to look at the lesson. And what the lesson is going to have to do with, I'll open this up in your CPM book. Are these problems? It says, complete the representation of a portion webbed for each number below. An example for 2/3 is given. So for everything in the middle, we need words or pictures. We need the fraction on top. We need the decimal on the lower left and the percentage on the lower right. So do the same for 7/10, 75/100, 3/5, 5/8. And then with your team, explain how you wrote 0.75 or 75/100 as a fraction in part B. Is there more than one way? Please be specific. Then we want you to check your calculator and make sure that these fractions are equal to decimals. So what is this as a fraction? What is this as a fraction? What is that as a fraction? See if you can figure out the fraction for each one of those. Then use your calculator to check to see if you are correct. Okay. As you're working on that, those two questions, that's 218 and 219, I'm going to say stop, and then I'm going to show you the summative assessment question number 4, which has to do with adding, subtracting fractions, and then figuring out this piece of the pie problem. After that, we're going to go to something a little tricky. It's called an extension, and this extension has to do with how do you figure out the fractions of repeating decimals. And this is really tricky, and you're going to see this again and again, and you're going to see this in 8th grade, and you're going to see this in 9th grade too. So don't worry if you don't understand it all at once, but we're just going to get you exposed to this, kind of plant the seed so you can see what's going on here. So how do we find a fraction for a repeating decimal? Okay. That might be about it, but if there's time, we'll go back to the lesson. And then when you come in tomorrow, what we're going to do is these homework problems we looked at, we're going to work those out. You're going to see those worked out. And then you're going to get new homework problems. And then these lesson problems you worked on today, you're going to see them worked out, and you're going to get new lesson problems. Does that make sense? So we're just going to keep ratcheting that way, and we're going to be super efficient, and we're going to have a good time, and I hope you are well, and I hope I see you tomorrow. All right, friend, have a good day.